guys, and welcome back to another Mystery Bit video right here on TetraBitGaming, where we explore mysterious video game stories, rumors, and hoaxes. Hell is Real 2401, the Wet Dry World Skybox, the Ghoul Medal, and other Super Mario 64 mysteries have been around the internet and talked about to death for years now. But, as I'm sure many of you have heard by now, these were all only the small tip of a large Mario 64 iceberg of mysteries with an even deeper abyss below that's been going around the internet lately. And interestingly, many of these mysteries deal with unused content in the game, so this whole ordeal is right up my alley. Anyways, in this video we'll be exploring starting at the bottom of the iceberg here, and I'll be picking and choosing some of my favorite mysteries and the ones that I think sound most interesting. And if you guys enjoy this, let me know, and I'll certainly make a second part diving into the darker depths below. Anyways, let's jump on in. Alright, first up is a simple question. Just how did Bowser enter Peach's castle? Now this is a question that I'm actually surprised I never really thought about. Just how did Bowser break into Peach's castle and swipe her? There's no visible sign of forced entry or anything anywhere, so unless Peach's security is so mediocre that Bowser was able to just waltz in through the front doors, he must have had a different way in. One prominent theory suggests that Bowser had entered the castle through Dire Dire Docks, which would explain the whole reason his submarine is there in the first place. And even this room with the entrance to Dire Dire Docks and Bowser in the fire seat just seems different. It's just a lonely feeling barren hallway. It has also been theorized that after sneaking into Dire Dire Docks with his sub, Bowser is actually the one that created this portal here, which seems to answer why this stage's warp is different than the other painting portals to a stage. And this could also lead to an explanation as to why the flooring and wall tiles completely change right at where this portal starts. And while we're discussing Dire Dire Docks, another interesting theory suggests that there is a hidden course that can be accessed via this stage. Remember that one Bowser door here? You know, the one that's here only when Bowser's sub is around? Well, normally after you clear out the sub, the warp behind this door just takes you back outside Peach's castle. Nothing crazy. But the rumor goes that only while this Bowser door is up, there is a hidden warp to an unused stage called Drip Drip Cave, and that it's rumored that some players have even been able to access it by clipping through the door. Unfortunately, nothing has been found coded in the game that suggests that A, there's an unused stage by that name, and B, that the portal behind the door was ever planned to lead elsewhere. That is, for the final version of the game anyway, so I guess maybe in some beta version or something, this theory could still hold some water. Similar to Drip Drip Cave, next let's talk Big Boo's Forest, which is allegedly a secret course that can be found from inside of Big Boo's haunt, and only in certain personalized copies of the game. Now the whole Super Mario 64's personalized shebang is an entire separate ordeal, so maybe I'll cover that in a future video or something. Anyways, as this name implies, Big Boo's Forest is described as being inside a large forest, surrounded by numerous dark, tall trees with a large moon visible above. It is also said to have a lone cabin found around the middle of the stage, and this cabin was to hold one of the course's stars, as well as a bed, a table, and a few chairs. Apparently, in addition to Boo and Scuttlebug enemies, the stage was also to feature dry bones, which would have been exclusive to this stage and would function similar to how they do in every other Mario game. There's even this supposed scrapped texture set for them. Once again, there's not really anything left in the game to suggest that this stage ever existed, and this texture set is basically just a recolor of the regular Koopa textures. That said, there is this one screenshot from the Space World 1995 demo version of the game in which some believe that the building behind Mario is the cabin from the forest. Now I'd be willing to bet that if this is real, that this was just an early version of Big Boo's haunt, but who knows, maybe there was a planned second spooky themed stage that was cut for whatever reason. Additionally, there's also another Big Boo's haunt mystery, and it deals with the forest-like setting surrounding the edge of Big Boo's haunt. With the way that Mario shrinks down as he enters the stage, we're to believe that he's just shrunken down in the cage, right? So if it's sunny in the courtyard outside when you jump in, why is the cage here surrounded by a dark, ominous forest? Some theories suggest that since Mario is now small, the blades of grass surrounding the cage now tower over him at this size. Personally though, I think the developers just wanted the stage to have a darker setting and didn't think people would read too much into it. Next is the alleged anomaly of the child of King Bob-omb. Now this myth proposes that in certain versions of Super Mario 64, a large Bob-omb, similar to King Bob-omb minus his mustache, has a chance to appear in each of the game's stages, but most commonly in Bob-omb Battlefield once King Bob-omb has been defeated for the first time. When encountered, apparently the Bob-omb offspring will run away like Mips the rabbit does. However, the child Bob-omb can apparently never be reached or grabbed. However, if the player is to approach the Bob-omb slowly and quietly, as long as Mario keeps practicing social distancing, the Bob-omb will nod and then lead the player towards treacherous situations. There are several warnings that have been laid out online to the player to warn them to not follow the Bob-omb into certain areas as it can result in damage to their cartridge, ROM, or even console. The warnings are as follows. Number 1. Do not follow the child into any downwards passages in the basement. Number 2. Do not follow the child if it enters the Dire Docks hallway, which could result in an unwelcome attack from an apparition of Wario. Number 3. Avoid the child Bob-omb at all costs if you suffer from epilepsy, since he can apparently flash bright colors and textures. Number 4. Don't collect any stars from the Bob-omb child as it can corrupt your save file, and collecting more than one basically guarantees it. And finally, number 5. If any new star missions show up in a course with the words child or bomb in them, avoid them at all costs as they can result in the game crashing. Once again, there hasn't been all too much to corroborate the existence of such an enemy in the game, but those that do believe in it believe that it may have been a form of the game's artificial intelligence testing its skills against the player or something. And now, last for this video, but certainly not least, is the alleged anomaly known simply as the Wario Apparition. Now, if you've been anywhere near Nintendo Twitter and YouTube the last month or so, chances are high that this here needs no introduction. But for those that haven't heard of this yet, allow me to introduce you anyway. So just like all of the other myths in this video, the Wario Apparition 2 apparently only appears in certain copies of the game. You know, cause they're personalized to you or whatever. Anyways, this large floating Wario head allegedly appears in the Dire Docks hallway. And once Wario notices the player, his reaction will, once again, vary based on which version of the game is played. That said, most players that have reported seeing this have stated that the Wario Apparition would begin chasing Mario down the hallway and attempt to eat him. The player must then run for their lives down the hallway, which would have apparently also greatly extended. Legend has it that this apparition manifests into a form from the player's subconscious desires, so it's believed that the apparition could be anything. Bowser, Toad, NBA Live 2004, anything. But apparently Wario is most common due to many players really wanting Wario to be seen in Super Mario 64. In any case, it's reported that the apparition's appearance can result in stroke-like symptoms. Right. So it's been recommended that the player shut off the game if and as soon as they encounter an apparition in this hallway. Other theories about this apparition, which are a bit more grounded in reality, include one that suggests that this apparition is the result of unfinished remains of a scrapped Wario boss fight meant to be seen in the game's basement. While again, there's nothing left over in the game really to support this theory, it's not as out there as some of the others. Around this time when Super Mario 64 released in the mid-90s, it seems that Nintendo was really trying to push Wario as a main foil character to Mario in the series. They were honestly pushing Wario way more than Luigi. From Wario announcing things at E3 1996, to the Wario puppets I covered in a previous video, to all the Wario games that were coming out around this time, it's not exactly unbelievable to think that perhaps Nintendo at some point had some sort of plans to include Wario in Super Mario 64, either as an NPC or who knows, maybe even a boss fight or playable character. But as it stands, the myth of the Wario apparition remains just that. I'm curious as to what you guys think about some of these anomalies on the Mario 64 Iceberg. Do you think they're real? Do you think there really are certain versions of Super Mario 64 that are personalized to an individual player? Or do you think this is all a bunch of low-tier creepypasta? Let me know what you think down in the comments, and again, yeah, if you enjoyed this video, let me know and I'll definitely make more videos on some of the other Mario 64 mysteries. Also, if you enjoyed, be sure to check out some of my other mystery bits, like the one I made covering the Mario and Wario puppets by clicking on the card right here. Be sure to subscribe, swing by my other social media things, which are all linked down in the description below, and if you want to support the channel, check out my merch over at TetraBitGaming.com, or consider becoming the latest member of the Bit Club to get some nifty extra channel perks. Click on the join button below for more information. Anyways guys, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you in a bit.